is the creative expression is not coming from technologies, actually. So we are brushing up technologies, in daily base to deliver the better expressions, but creative expression itself is really not coming from instrument. It's really coming from the inside of you. And I also think, these days I'm working with some other community, and the creative expressions is not like coming from our efficiency or productivity things, but recently I found so many creative expression with some kind of unexpected collaborations, or some are creative collisions, or some are, something like a chaos. So there, it's not like a framed work, it's not like a following the process, but it's really unexpected thing. You don't know the answers. The keep, they're building up some questions. So I'm feeling there, these days are creative expression is coming from that. I'm working with some art installations, which is based on the one illustrations. The dancers group are having a very deep dialogue with, the artists who draw their, illustrations, and understanding the context and her, the artist, the dynamics of the drawings and history, the past, and they're trying to build up some really collaborating some artwork, dancing and drawing things. This is really unexpected collision, or sometimes it's it's not matching, it's creative collisions. So, but I guess it can definitely deliver some creative expressions. That's my first impressions. Sam?
Yes, thank you, Nobu-san. I think that also the entire frame of the Future Inc. is seen under that approach of challenging each other, not only on the technological basis, but beyond the technologies that are available. So for the audience, to very shortly explain our research project that we join is the Future Inc. is divided in several proposals like AI Inc., Bio Inc., and Mind Inc., Body Inc. But the Space Inc. was the one that we selected going further in the first place. And this is, pragmatically put, the vacuum technologies connected with the Spaxels technologies, the Swarm OS, the robotic vehicle control instruments that we have built over the last several years. But this is not per se the reason for diving in. This is just like the platform from where to start to. And this is, I think, also very important to describe this collaboration as a fundamental art research program rather than solving or giving answers, solving challenges. It's more like trying to create questions, trying to find possibilities, potentials, and create maybe even a vision for, I don't know, maybe 50 years from now or so. But trying to understand where this mindset sits that triggers or formulates the creation on the first place, rather than having an input tool for a whatever creative outcome. So, and just want to add that you have actually raised the question in one of the early discussions that was, where's my soul? And that kind of still describes the entire area where we are now looking for questions and looking for potentials in this field. But maybe you could a little bit elaborate on the fundamentals of these questions?
Yeah, definitely, Holson. So actually, the starting of our collaborations, we put some key questions. Where's my soul? And where's my kotodama? Kotodama is a Japanese term. It means the spirit living in your words. So there, when you're trying to deliver something from your inside, you implement your soul and your spirit in your words, and the words is flying around and it's conveyed to you, and it makes your heart moved. So this is Kotodama things, right? And they're all the art expressions or artwork. Sometimes you're really moved, and not just art. In the daily lives or the communication, some small tips of the words, or your heart will be moved. Music piece, songs, everything. So there. Where's my soul and where's Kotodama? It's not just research for the biological perspectives. It's not the research of the brain structure things, but it's really from art thinking perspective. Why my heart can be connected with Holsen's heart, and why Holsen's kind of a word and temperature is really shaking me. This is really fundamental question. So it's not a kind of a too scientific approach, but it's really human-based, humanity things. Why I can convey my heart, where's my soul, and how my kotodama can fly to you. So this is really fundamental key questions we built up together with our teams, and Space Inc. is really representing these installations. Wacom pen technologies and Ars drone technologies. It's not just a technology collaborations. We don't know the answers. What the expression is coming out from these creative collisions, and how Ars drone interprets our ink technologies, and vice versa. So this is really kind of a creative experiment, to start exploring, to evoke another questions, starting with where's my soul, where's my kotodama, also.
I think the very driving force from the very beginning was that we all agreed on this workshops levels that we want to just throw the stone as far as possible, and maybe we only see the ripples on the water. But this is kind of the searching style that we have started here. It's very, very strongly experimental driven. The mixed team between Wacom and the Futurelab are collaborating. Also, by the way, tomorrow, the full day, you can see visitors here in Linz can see it live. Happening, actually, the research work at the studio at the Futurelab. But beyond that, what I think what our viewers might be very interested in, like several universities might look at this, labs might look at this, artists, creators, which all have in common this inspiration of creating the future. What is in that approach for Wacom, for a global industry, for a global player? Why do you think it's necessary to exactly not only look at the given possibilities and increase the output of the technological possibilities, but really go far beyond that into fundamental research? What is the driving force behind that?
Yeah, so this is a great question, Holston. So yes, as a Wacom, one part as like a business entity, we have to keep delivering the products, and we have to gain the revenue, gross profit things. This is also true in the one side, but the other side, we definitely believe Wacom, all team members, we have some mission. We have a mission. Why we are born in this society. What's the reason we are allowed to exist in this society things. So we keep thinking that, and we don't have answers, but the kind of mission which we are really feeling is how we can contribute to the humanity things, humane things with our technologies. So it's not for the business purpose, and it's not for their optimizing performance. It's really how we can connect with the deep insight of the human beings, of the core of creativities, and how our instrument and how our experience can provoke some other activities, how we can activate the human beings' new creativity things. So this is, we believe, our missions. And these missions, the most important thing is that we cannot achieve this mission by ourselves. We need our partners. We need to do together with communities, and we need a joint runner. We need to, take some joint journey. So there, Paul Sands, when I met with you a couple of years ago, it's not logical thinking, but it's just came down to my mind. Oh, I found a partner. So there, it's like a long journey, and we don't have a map, or we don't have a exact steps to go through. But I believe Wacom should take this joint journey together with Ars Electronica and all the communities partners to explore, to find out how we can achieve our missions to connect deep inside of human beings' creativity.
Mm-hmm. And that bell was a bell to signal that we're at the halfway point of the talk.
Okay.
And yes, I think it's really great to see the inspirational collaboration between Wacom and Ars Electronica Futurelab. And I think the audience in the world would like to know what kind of new creative expressions can be expected from this new collaboration.
We are very early in the stage. We're having 2 prototypes towards that strategy. That started with the space brush, which is very simple but extremely strong in allowing the movement of the arm, the pen on the tablet, to become, to reach out into the space and use the drone more or less with a virtual arm extension to utilize it as a brush in the space. So coming from the 2D surface into a 3-dimensional space. At the very moment, we are working on even given more intelligence or interpretation capabilities to the drone itself, which means that now at the first step, it was like really following, and still is, of course, the input and generating its output. But now it's more interpreting what the painter, the designer, the creator is trying to achieve, and then the drone itself becomes kind of a living brush, and we called it the expressive brush.
Mm-hmm.
So that this would be another layer that would be sometimes even definitely colliding with your input, but it's sometimes interpreting it in a way that new outcomes could be generated from that.
Yeah. So that is unexpected collaborations, right? So we of course this is technology. We program some, but we don't know how the drone our drone interprets our ink, and how our artists using Wacom pen would interpret the drone actions. So this is a 2 different language. It's a creative collision, unexpected collaborations. We don't know. And still, key question is there. Where's my soul? Where's Kotodama? Can drone have Kotodama? And can drone's Kotodama convey to the artist? This is really no answers, and we're not looking for the technological answers. Better, let's try this and let's make it creative collisions, and let's try to keep, questionings. Let's keep, evoking their creative questions. So I think that's the whole core of our Space Inc. Installations.
Mm-hmm. And why is the soul so important to you or to this research?
Well, my first answer on that would be it's incorporating this fundamental understanding of trying to create or trying to humanize technologies, trying to create a not user-centered design anymore. That is like almost matter of the past. I think we need to consider human-centered architectures and human-centered systems for the future of the digitalization in general, but also this notion of where is my soul, this notion of the Kotodama, I think leads back to this fundamental desire of trying to identify the unique creativity, the unique moment of creation. In comparison, for example, in another research key research topic at the Futurelab, we are investigating artificial intelligence and questioning if machines can create at all. And the machines come up to a very, very high performance, I would say, in a very, very high outcome. But still we find that only in working with the machines, only in working with that new technologies that would incorporate the human aspect and the machinery, maybe even being more like a tool, maybe even being an entire environment to find new possibilities and new ways of expression. I think this is the fundamental part of what we are trying to achieve. Actually, what we are trying both to achieve in that research project is finding the right, how can I say, the right degree on incorporating the new technologies into our creative expressions.
Yeah, definitely, I believe so. The soul or Kotodama is really a core, fundamental force for the human beings to desire to express something. You know, it's never ever changed since 20,000 years ago, and whatever the days are, it's built in, equipped with all human beings, their soul and Kotodama. And as Ho-san described, their creative expressions, it's really matter how we are going to activate, how we are going to provoke this soul and Kotodama, and how we can support. And so that's why, the Ars and Wacom are trying to do some the creative experiment, how we can open up, this kind of new opportunities for the soul and Kotodama, how these guys are going to go out from your inside. Yeah.
And I think Ars Electronica Futurelab and Wacom also has an interesting and very unique creative communities. And how has it been collaborating together and also expanding each other's creative communities?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that's one was a. Oh, sorry, my voice is echoing. So that is one of the key, also the motivations of our collaborations. So yes, it's true. Ho-san, myself, and Ogawa-san, Yoko-san, and all Wacom team members, Ars team members, sharing the visions and sharing some directions. But our communities are, the close that is different. Not just Ars and Wacoms have a creative collisions. What would happen if our Wacom community and Ars community have a creative collision? So this is also another, evoking the key questions or creative expressions. So not just one party versus one party, community and community things. This is really important.
And I also think that the participative moment is extremely relevant, which leads also to the third step that we are having in front of us, the collaborative ink or brush that we are trying to generate as well. But beyond that, I see it is super important to have that collaboration cross teams as well, because there's so many different disciplines, so many different educational backgrounds, and so many different experts joining the team from totally different perspectives. And what we have learned in the years that we have worked together is finding a common language that is going cross disciplines. And so now we can really work in this very, very interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary setting where the fundamental questions of Kotodama actually is a question that every discipline could contribute to and raise the questions that is coming from the different disciplines, be it the artists, the designers, the engineers that are incorporated here. But from your perspective, and we're coming to more or less the last 5 minutes,
yes,
as I understand.
we're down to the final 5 minutes.
From your perspective, also what would be interesting to hear, you're looking for the collision with the arts world and with the creators community, but do you think that this transdisciplinary approach involving a huge set of different disciplines into one research question, that this is of a beneficial fundament for a global player as Wacom?
Yeah, definitely. So it's not just beneficial, for how we're trying to achieve our missions, but it's really kind of inspiring so many things. And I think it's not just based on the project collaboration. I think it's a really core and response, the dialogue with ours. So yes, we are a registered Japanese company, but we're having a global users community, and also, you really have a 40 years history of the, crazy, chaotic, creative things, and we started, and core and response. It's not just let's work together things. We are challenging, you are challenging me, and sometimes we have some compromise or some matching things. So this is it's kind of beyond just one country to one country. It's really spreading out this core and response effect to the global community. So this is so meaningful for us, and this is kind of the direction which we like to drive, provoking the creative questions, activates the new expressions, across the global communities through our call and response.
Mm-hmm. And we're almost down to the final 2 minutes. So I think when we look at the final creative questions map, we are seeing keywords like the soul, interdisciplinary approach, and bringing together each other's creative communities, and also call and response, having a call and response activity on a global scale.
Now it's about to formulate an upcoming question. Well, I think what is incorporated in our collaboration already is this understanding of humanism and the understanding of the technology that is supporting not only the user as being the consummate, it's supporting or supposed to support new ways to express for the entire society, really, rather than the benefit of the single individual user. That I think is at least a desire to reach out from my perspective, totally. But the last minute belongs to you, Ide-san. What would be your desire?
Yeah. Right, it's a great last question, Holsam. So yeah, through these collaborations, other interesting projects, only one desire. Actually, let me say it's my personal desire. I really desperately like to touch, I like to touch the deep inside of the soul, humanity things. Maybe it's my own soul. It's maybe my own Kotodama. Maybe it's yours, Kotodama, Horst-san, better. I'm not looking for their answers, but I just like to have a deep touch, with the soul. So, and I believe, when I touch that, the next key creative questions is coming up. So I
Thank you.
like to continue this never-ending journey together with you.
Thank you very much. That was the Future Inc. CQC. See you again in our next Creative Questions Challenge. Bye.
Bye, everybody.